The following presentation is brought to you by the Pride of ODU, the official NIL collective of Old Dominion Athletics. Be a monarchist. Join the Pride. Monarch Nation, welcome back to the Monarchist Basketball Show. We are back with Coach Mike Jones. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing okay. Just on the road, doing a little recruiting.
All right, we always love to hear that. So, since we last talked, we've had quite a few games, but I think it would be best to wrap the Cayman Island trip up with one question. Obviously, first game, tough opponent. Second game, it felt like you guys made a big jump in that tournament. And then Duquesne was kind of a mess. What was your biggest takeaway from that trip?
Just trying to lock in on the things that we are starting to do well, and continuing to try to improve the things that we're not doing well. And we against High Point, we actually I thought took a huge step forward in terms of execution and just the physicality of the game and the physical nature that High Point plays with. I thought we did a good job of matching that for the majority of 40 minutes. Just fell a little short. And I do think we've been able to build on that in the last two games we've had since we've been back from the Cayman. So definitely some things that we can build upon.
So let's talk about that building. William & Mary. William & Mary is a team that's kind of given us some fits the last couple of years, the way that they play. But I think you guys took a step forward there and really started playing a little bit more, probably, arguably, the best as a team that we've seen so far. 20 assists in the game. Talk to us a little bit about what your thoughts are on that game.
Again, just I think one of the main things for me was the fact that we were able to be a tougher team. I don't think anybody can argue. We were a tougher team in that environment. They definitely, even with the new coach, they definitely play a different style. They play the Princeton offense, but at a very high pace. They press a lot, and I thought we were very well prepared, and our guys did a really good job of executing what our game plan was. And these are things that, especially in this month of December, we're going to have the opportunity to do because of the gaps in between our games, and just trying to solidify as much as we possibly can before Sunbelt play starts.
After that game, you noted the time off between the Caymans and that game you felt like it was impactful. Everyone got to go and spend time with their family, come back, refresh and re-energized. Obviously, it led to that great performance, team basketball, really good performance from three. I think you guys shot like 40% from the deep in that game. But what I was most impressed by in that game is we were playing mostly 7 guys throughout the game. They were playing 10 to 12 players cycling in like hockey lines. And you could tell that press and that pace that they were playing with was taking a toll on our guys. They were getting tired, but they gutted through it and finished the game strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all, I think we're a team that's in, I'll say, decent shape. We go pretty hard. We've kind of scaled it back a little bit once the game started, back in early November. But so we've kind of scaled it back. But our Tim Saha is our strength and conditioning coach. He did a tremendous job of getting our guys in shape before game one, and I think we've been able to do a pretty good job of maintaining that. So fatigue and things like that at the end of the game, there are always going to be things that we consider, but I'd like to think that we're in a position that we're going to be fine no matter what the pace of the game has been. So I was proud of that as well. We, with the way we play and the pressure that William & Mary put on us, we had to make a few home run plays that were able to allow us to get a couple of easy baskets to keep them at bay. We weren't perfect there, but again, with a team that's so new and trying to go against and prepare for an opponent that plays totally different than any other team we've played. It was good that we were able to come out with that win.
From a strategy perspective, the starting lineups look different in the two games, the one against William and Mary, but then the matchup against George Washington was a little different, and we saw Big Cal come back in for that. You guys got off to a really quick start in that game. Talk to us a little bit about how that game started and then how things progressed towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, we we're showing signs, and that's the encouraging part. We obviously the first few games of the season we struggled with our starts, and we tweaked and tweaked and tweaked, and I would like to say we found a formula that kind of works for us now. And the start against GW is indicative of that. We were able to pinpoint a few things that we thought we could take advantage of, especially early, and we were able to do that. And obviously they adjusted, we adjusted, they adjusted, we adjusted. We just need to be able to sustain, some of the momentum that we're able to create in the start of a game. Being up 16-9, I think we had a couple chances to really put them in a hole early that we didn't take advantage of. And again, just these are things that this ODU team needs to be able to do to give us the best chance to win.
All right. So Jaden Johnson said they had a lack of focus and a lack of toughness in the period that kind of ended the game for them. That 15-3 run George Washington had, where we just kind of looked out of sorts. How can you adapt as a coach to kind of try to avoid those situations moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that at least I know is when one bad play happens or two bad plays happen, there has to be things that we can hold on to, that we can embrace. It can't be the home run play. It can't be the hero play. It can't be I'm going to gamble here on defense to try to hurry up and get that ball back. And, it's frustrating, but with a younger team, with a team that's still, getting to know one another, those are things that you're going to see. And the quicker we can mature to the point where we don't do that, the better. I'm one that, just I know what it needs to be, and we're coaching the guys to be able to do that, and we're going to continue to get better. Again, there's been steps taken forward. It's just we got to get this thing right, and Sunbelt season is right around the corner, and that's when it really matters. And we got to keep working.
Speaking of taking steps, starting to get things right and maturing, we saw an example of that in this past game. Cal gets some early foul trouble. You bring Ben Nacy in, a guy that we really haven't had a chance to see yet. True freshman that's coming in the squad, and he comes in, he doesn't gamble. He just does all the little things right. Talk to us a little bit about Ben coming in and getting kind of like a lot of his first meaningful action.
Well, I think amongst the coaching staff, we've discussed basically like how can we get Ben on the floor? When can we get Ben on the floor? And Ben will tell you, I mean, he hasn't been completely healthy since maybe 2 weeks before our first game. And he's, been under the weather. So he hadn't been able to practice consistently. And he's gone through a couple of weeks stretch now where he has been healthy and he's been there and able to do everything we're doing. And I mean, he's really good. Ben is somebody that we all know has a huge and a bright future with us at ODU. So, this was an opportunity to get him in. I spoke to him in shoot around and said, hey, I'm not promising you anything, but I don't need you to be surprised when I call your name tonight. And he was like, Coach, I'll be ready. And he clearly was ready. And that's good for us because now we know that, the offensive post player that Ben is, and then the strong, just tree trunk he is on defense. It really provides us another option in terms of offense and defense.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed when he was in the game is the offense seemed to flow really nicely. Like it was really good team basketball when he was on the floor. Speaking of team basketball, the last 2 games, you've had great balanced scoring throughout the lineup. I believe you had 6 guys in double figures against William Mary. You had 3 against George Washington, but with a couple other guys close to breaking double digits. How important is that to you for this team to keep that balanced scoring going forward?
To be honest with you, that's the way my teams have always been. You know, we, you know, we want to share the ball. We want to have multiple options in terms of scoring on the floor. We want to have multiple playmakers on the floor. We don't want the other team to be able to say, if we can take this one player away, then that totally, limits what, our offense can be. So I'm happy with the progress that we're making in terms of being unselfish and playing off of each other. And again, that's another step forward. That's the growth that we're having. The patience that I keep talking about. Um, you're starting to see some of that. It's just we've got to get it on a consistent basis, and these are things that we definitely will be able to build upon throughout the rest of the season and in the future.
All right, so the team's got a little time off until the next game on Sunday. Rob goes down with an ankle injury in the second half. He goes to the back, but then he's able to come back and get in. Obviously, he's got a little bit of time to rehab and to work that. But how does that affect the things that you're trying to do?
Well, just obviously Rob's just his presence on the court. He provides so much gravity because you have to guard him. You have to shade to his side. You can't help off of him. So, just him being on the floor does something for our offensive flow. Rob is more than just a shooter. And I think, Rob is showing that, and we would like for Rob to show that a little bit more because Rob is a really good passer. And because of the way people guard him, Rob has opportunities to make some plays for other guys. And I know Rob's competitiveness, he wants to do that. I mean, he's trying to do that. Rob, sometimes will have to play point guard for us. When Devin Caesar's got it going and we need Devin to score the ball, we'd love for Devin to be off the ball. And let's say for whatever reason Jaden Johnson can't be in. Rob is one of those guys that we can rely on to play point guard for us. And these are things that going forward, like we'll have to have, and that's the impact of not having Emo. You when I got here, the plan was we were going to go and recruit the heck out of Jaden Johnson and get him to come here, knowing that it'd be him and Emo in the backcourt at the point guard spot this season, and that was our plan. And then you get to September 23rd, first day of practice, and Emo has his episode, and we can't go trade for somebody. We can't pick up a free agent. I mean, this is our roster, and I am not complaining about the roster at all, but it definitely had to change the way we kind of approach things. And the load that Devin and Jaden are both having to carry now without Emo, I'm proud of the way that they're handling it, but this is a long season, and we've got we're not even a third of the way through yet. We got a lot of basketball ahead of us, and we've got to make sure that point guard position is shored up. So you might see Robert Davis Jr., you might see Sean Gordon playing more minutes in a position that our fans are not used to seeing them play.
All right, Coach. So you are on the road recruiting, and you were just talking about Emo and his loss and the change and impact it's had on this team and the adjustments you have to make moving forward. Has that experience with how this is shaping up for the team changed how you are building a team for the future? Or
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, if you think about it, this would have been Emo's last year. So our recruiting for next season has not changed at all. Obviously, there's still so much just uncertainty, and it's not you're not able to accurately predict, at least we don't know yet, of what the roster is going to look like come spring, and what happens just in college basketball. So we have a good core group of young men that we love the fact that they're representing ODU. We're going to recruit to add more guys to that pool. I'm happy with the talent level we have. We've got to coach them better, but I think the future is exactly what we need it to be at ODU. If we can hold on to the guys we have, I think our future is very bright.
All right, Coach. So you're on the road recruiting. We're not going to tell anybody who you're going to see or where you're at because we don't want to give out any competitive disadvantages or advantages to other people. But what I am curious about is on this road trip that you're going, what's the number one tune that you've got that gets you enjoying and gets you in the zone of driving when you're making these trips?
All right. So to be honest with you, I can't even lie to you. I've got 3 guys with me, and I've been watching Northeastern film the whole way down the road. So, they, they're doing their own thing. They're listening to music and things like that. But I have my AirPods in, and I'm watching the Northeastern Huskies. So, I'm getting ready for Sunday's game.
All right. So speaking of Sunday's game, it is a doubleheader. Men, you guys open up against Northeastern, and then the women follow it up with the Ann Donovan Classic against ECU. I just got word that it says on the schedule it is Spirit and Cheer Day. They are moving that. It's actually going to be Ugly Sweater Day. So wear your ugly sweaters to the game. Come cheer on the men and the women. But speaking of Northeastern, what is the early scout looking like for this team?
Tough. They are very tough. They have a couple of bigs that they throw the ball to. They have guards that they post up as well. They don't shoot a ton of 3-pointers, but they're good at it when they get open looks. They attack the basket. This will be another game where our individual defense is tested, and it's we have to match their toughness. They're a tough team, and we've got our work cut out for us. So we got a few days here to prepare. We're going to do the best job we can and try to put on a great show for our fan base on Sunday.
All right, Mike. So I doubt that you've looked at these guys yet because I know you're focused on the game on Sunday, but we do have an early conference game on the 21st. Is there anything about ULM that our fans should know about because we won't be speaking before that game?
Again, I appreciate the question, Aaron, but I hope to one day be able to talk about opponents 2 and 3 games away. We're not there.
That's fair.
Northeastern has 100% of my focus right now. And again, I've mentioned though, at the end of the Northeastern game, we'll have a couple of days to get ready for our game with Louisiana Monroe. So because of the way the December schedule has kind of fallen out, I have no hesitancy in not looking forward. Like I'm locked in on Northeastern. We are locked in on Northeastern.
That makes all the sense in the world.
All right. So last time we talked, you talked a bit about the concepts and how you might need to adapt how you're coaching. Maybe simplifying how you maybe do 1 or 2 concepts at a time instead of the whole concept all at once. And I think we've seen that change impact on the floor because we've seen, we talked about the scoring balance, getting a lot more balance across the lineup. But how have you seen that change in coaching pay off over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think it is done the opposite of complicating things for our guys and trying to get our guys just to all be on the same page. I think it's made it easier for them. So we still have defensive breakdowns. You know what? If we were the best defensive team in the country, we'd have defensive breakdowns. We're trying to do the best job we can to limit those as much as possible. And we've had much less defensive breakdowns the last couple of games. And we're going to continue to do that. I hope on Sunday we can say we had just a couple defensive breakdowns over the course of a 40-minute game. And that's kind of where we're going. And fortunately enough, at least preliminarily, I can say, I think the way the game will be played on Sunday, we got to get back in transition because they like to get it and go. But if we can get back in transition and make them go against our half-court defense, a lot of the things that I think we're good at, we'll be able to do against Northeastern. So I think that helps us in some respect. But again, just we've got to limit the breakdowns, and if we can do that, we've got a shot.
So, I mean, Jaden Johnson was thrown into the fire early this season with Emo's injury. He seems to be like growing every game. What is it about him that makes him this type of player?
He's working really hard. He's putting in extra time. Emo's helping him a tremendous amount. For the lack of the opportunity for Emo's experience to help us on the court, he is doing it in all the things that Emo knows about the college basketball game. He's taking Jaden under his wing and is really trying to help him. And I could not be more proud of both of them. Emo for being able to do it and being able to communicate so effectively, and then Jaden to be open to it and embracing the things that he's learning from his entire coaching staff. But, Emo's been very instrumental in Jaden's development. I think this is what we saw in Jaden. This is why I wanted Jaden here. And I want to be clear, like he's nowhere near scratching the surface of what he's capable of. So, you're just talking about, 30% of his freshman season. Just imagine what this can turn into as long as he keeps working. So I'm very proud of him, and his best basketball is still ahead of him. So, we've got a good one in Jaden Johnson.
Yeah, and I wanted to highlight that and a couple of these other guys because what we had the chance to do is watch these guys develop in real time, and it's an opportunity to watch this program change quickly. Because what we saw these last 2 weeks is completely different than what we saw the first couple weeks, and it's fun to watch that growth.
Yeah, and it's more to come. It's so much more to come. I mean, you look at Cal's development and his just getting more comfortable in what we're asking Cal to be able to do. Rob, shot out of the cannon, scoring 25 points and a half against Buffalo. But Rob is actually impacting the game in more ways than just putting the ball. Devin Caesar, he's finding his ways to, when he's got to play point and run our team. And then you look at Steph, and Steph is really the last couple of games he's been double-figure rebounds, and he's learning when his opportunities are gonna come. And then I don't think anybody can deny the fact that Sean Gordon has taken a step forward, and in terms of his assertiveness on the offensive end, his continue. I mean, he's one of the best rebounding guards in the country, even by statistics, that puts him up there. And then you have the other guys, and I don't mean other guys as in they're not worthy, but you have a Danny Pounds who's still trying to find his role. We're just trying to get ways to keep him on the floor longer, because he's going to be so impactful for us this season. Vitautas is, like he brings a toughness to us that we're going to need him on the floor, especially in a game like Sunday, because of the toughness he brings to our team. So, I mean, you have all these guys. RJ Blakeney, his versatility is something that's going to be valuable for us. So, we have these guys, Donovan Raymond. Like there's pieces on our team that we know are capable of doing what we need done. We just need it on a consistent basis, and we need to find the right five guys at every segment to be able to help us win basketball games. And that's easier said than done, and that's also very simply said, but that's literally what this is.
Yeah, Coach. I think I want to tell all ODU fans, if you want to really appreciate where this team will be when it gets to where you expect it to be, it's going to feel a lot better if you get on the train now. Jump on the bandwagon now and watch this growth, because the payoff is going to be much better in the end when you were there from the beginning.
And I'll also say this, Mike. We're in the Sun Belt Conference. Sun Belt Conference play is right around the corner. The whole philosophy. We want to win every game we play. We want to like our non-conference schedule is incredibly important for a couple of reasons. We want to build a resume, but we also want to prepare ourselves to be as successful as we possibly can in Sun Belt Conference play. No matter what, we have gone through our struggles. But I swear, like every single day, we're taking steps forward. Every week, we're taking steps forward, so that when we do get to Sun Belt Conference play, we have the Louisiana Monroe game, and then we come right out of the gate after the New Year, and we have Arkansas State coming to Chartway. They're a league favorite. Pick to win the league, whatever. Like we're getting ready for that. We're getting ready for that. And, we want to get the best seed we can in the Sun Belt tournament. And then we're going to throw all of that crap in the air and see where everything lands. This is what college basketball is. And we're working our rear ends off, and we are like, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep pushing. There will be days that we're disappointed, but we're going to keep fighting, keep pushing. I'm hoping for the disappointing days to be days that, oh man, we almost blew that, but we got it done. And then for the alternative to be, man, I'm so proud of the way our team played for the last 40 minutes. So there's some wins. I hope a lot of wins in our future this season, so that we can represent our fan base the right way.
Well, all right, Monarch Nation, you heard the man. Next opportunity for us to do our part is Sunday. We got 2 games. 1 o'clock is the tip-off, so be there early, get in the stands, wear your ugliest Christmas sweater. Make Scott Jackson have to talk about it on the call. So, Coach, thanks again. Best of luck in your recruiting trip. Safe travels home, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you. See you guys. See you, Mike. See you, Aaron. Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.
Monarchs.